So, hi everybody, welcome for this session around tools to edit and retrieve data from Wikidata. I'm Nicolas Vigneron, user Vigneron on Wikidata and many other Wikimedia projects. I'm a long-time editor on both Wikipedia, Wikisource, and Wikidata for 17 years now on Wikidata, on Wikipedia, and 10 years. I'm not even sure on Wikidata since the beginning. And I did a lot of edits, both by hands and with some very useful tool to make it more efficient and quick. So today I will present one of them, which is QuickStatements. And that's it. If you want to say a few words about what you expect and what you want to learn today, maybe that's the moment to wait for other people to arrive. Yamen, for instance, what do you expect today?
So first of all, thank you very much, Nicola, for accepting to animate this session. So during this session, I think we would like to see how to update items on Wikidata, how to create a new item using quick statement, and to maybe to add more difficulties to the quick statement, how to update a reference for a statement. For example, when we have World Heritage Sites, we have start date and date. How we can update these to because they are not. So maybe it's more difficult, this one.
Yeah, but I'll do it.
And what else? Maybe also what's the difference between Quick Statement 1 and Quick Statement 2?
Yeah.
So should we use the 2 or should we use 1 or both? We can use both of them?
Yes, absolutely. That was planned. Maybe Adele, Nassima, or Andrew, you want to say a few words? Or you can just ask questions during the session if you want, or use the chat, whatever. So I'll start with a broad overview, if there's no question. No. Because there's quick statement 1 and 2, but there's a lot of other tools to edit Wikidata item. So you have a page on Wikidata, which is called Wikidata Tools. The main page is Tools here in English, sorry. And you have a lot of tools existing around Wikidata, like really a lot of tools. So for each need you have, you may have a specific tools that exist. For editing items, again in English, sorry, there's a lot of small specific tool to do small little things around label, to disambiguate author, and things like that. And if you want to do mass import, mass update, mass removal, sometime of statement and Wikidata, you have two main tools who are called Quick Statement and Open Refine. That's these two. Open Refine is the one I use more and more nowadays. It's more powerful and can do more things, but it's much more complicated to use at first. And it's not possible to do everything with Open Refine. So the other main tool to mass edit Wikidata is Quick Statements. It's an older one, older tool, Quick Statement, but still work very well to import. This tool can add or remove statements with optional qualifier and references.
Sorry, Nico, are you sharing your screen?
I guess I am. I'm not. Sorry. No. Minute. Sorry. Oh, I'm bad at this. Can I? Is it good now?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So as I said, I'm on the page Wikidata Tools Edit item, where there's a lot of small tools that can be useful for other purposes. I won't explain them today, but it's good to know they exist. And if you go down, as I said, there's OpenRefine and QuickStatements. Today we will talk about QuickStatements. So you have a documentation about QuickStatement that is quite good and give everything you need to know. It exists in many languages if you want. I will do it in English today, but you can read it in other languages. So yes, QuickStatement is a tool to, as it's written, edit Wikidata item. It has a very specific syntax that I will explain today, which is not always easy to start with, but you can go, if you know already Wikidata, how data are structured into Wikidata, if you know how to do Sparkle query, things like that, you shouldn't be too confused, I guess. But if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. Yes, let's dive in. So as you mentioned, there's several versions of the tool. There's the old version, version 1. There's the first version 2, the current version 2. I think version 1 does not work at all anymore. Yeah, it's not available at all, so no problem. So I advise to use the new version, which is pretty much the same, but with a better interface and nicer thing. And again, you can change language as always. So yes, it's an online tool. You have nothing to upload on it's not a software on your computer, it's everything online. So it works in Windows, Ubuntu, Mac, whatever. There's no problem with that. That's a good thing. And I guess we can dive in the command sequence syntax. So you know that in Wikidata there's items and properties and other type of entity, but mainly items and property. We have all specific ID like Q411 whatever, or P31 or things like that. And you need, when you work with QuickStatement, to already know this identifier and put them in a specific format. For instance, a simple example here is, to this item, you add this statement with this value, which means to the Wikidata sandbox add instance of universe. It's a simple example. You have more specific things if you want to add specific value like text or time or coordinate or quantity, and you have all the syntax which is explained here. You can also partly, not totally, but work on lexeme if you want. Lexemes, won't explain that more today, but it's also possible. And yes, that's it for the first part, and I will do a demonstration. It will be much clearer, I guess. And this is what we call the V1 syntax, because it's existed in the first version, and it still works the same syntax in the second version. And there's more explanation, and there's a second type of syntax which we call CSV file syntax, where we use different syntax when we want to import. And in this case, you still need to know the QID and the PID of property and everything, but you don't put it at the same place. I'll explain that. I see there's discussion. Thanks for the link on the discussion. So yeah, you have two syntax, but they are more or less the same. And in after the basic commands like this one to add a direct property, you have more detailed command for adding qualifier or references. And basically you add more column with the reference you want to add or the qualifier. It's more or less the same. The thing is, when you use a property for adding references, you replace the P as the first letter with a S, like sources. And you can add several one after the other for the same statements. Yada, yada, yada. Some examples, always useful. Yes, and another type of thing you can do with quick statements is to create totally new items, because all I explained before was to add statements to existing item. But if you do the same thing with the word create before, it will just create a new item. And then you don't have a QID because it doesn't exist when you write it. So you use the keyword last. You can merge some item if you need to. That's very rare, but that can be done. And finally, if you want to remove something that is wrong, that for instance, someone used a robot or something and did a mistake, and a lot of time the same mistake, you can remove it with the same kind of syntax, but with a minus at the beginning. It will allow to remove it. And that also means if you want to replace a value, you have to do it in 2 steps, remove the old value and adding the new one afterward. There's not a specific syntax for replace this by that. You need to remove everything and re-put it again, which is a bit strange, but hey, that's just a 2-step process. That's not too complicated. And yes, I need to explain this one, label alias description and site links, because I give example to add a specific value inside Wikidata. If I open an item, just to be sure you know how Wikidata work. What I explain is for this part, statements, but you can also edit this part at the top of Wikidata item. For instance, adding a description for church in Tunisia. If you have a Sparkle query where you get the list of all church in Tunisia without description, you can get this list, put it in a Excel or Calc table, and add the same description everywhere, for instance. Just a quick example of things I do quite often, actually. And for adding, you just need to use this little code, which is L for label, and then the code language. So this LPL is for label in Polish. If it's LFR, it will be for label in French, LEN for in English, DE for Dutch, German, and AR for Arabic, whatever. And if you replace the L with a D, it will do the same thing for description. So basically that's it. I won't go much further because it's all right here in this page. Just checking I don't forget important things. No, I think I did a quick overview, and now what I suggest is to do it directly in the website. So as I said on the top here, you have a link to QuickStatement, and the URL is QuickStatement Toolforge. Oh, I see there's a question in the chat, sorry. Question for merge, which one will be merged, the first one or the second? Source will be merged into destination, right? Yes, just checking to be sure not saying mistakes, but I think that's how it works. Yeah, the first item will be merged and redirected into the second. So you need to make sure you put the right number in the right order. That's it. But be careful when you merge, and in general, when you use mass edit tools, to be sure you know what you are doing before doing it, because if you are doing like 1,000 or 100 or 1,000 or 100 of 1,000 edits, be very, very sure to do the right thing, before you launch it, because it can be quite painful to revert it afterwards. So yeah, it's important to be careful. That's it. So when you are in this interface, you can, as I said, choose your language, and then the first thing to do is to log in, and it will use your Wikimedia account, and we redirect you to the quick statement tool, and you see now, oh, I'm connected, and I can see the last thing I did. Actually, I did things. Oh, that was quite a long time ago. And I have some information about myself and what I did recently if I want to. And you have several buttons, but the main one, which is here and here, it's the same, is new batch. It's basically how you can start to do a new import. You type here in this column, you can copy paste what you want to import. And as I said, there's two syntax, the v1 command and the CSV. I will show them both actually. So for instance, Yamen sent me this file, which is already pre-formatted. When you use quick statements, you have a lot of work to do before. Like in this instance, you need to find the QID of all items you want to edit, the right property and the right ID for the value you want to put. So this says on this item Q, etc. I will add this property with this value. And actually, I will do it in 2 times to show you both syntax. So I will do the first one to start with. I will take this, copy, here, paste, import command, v1 commands. You have the tools itself recognize what you are doing. So it's will put you the names and everything, and you can check again before sending it. Oh, is it really what I want to do? Yes, 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 all good. And if everything is correct, you can hit the button run, and ta-da, it's doing it for you. So here it's a quick and simple example for just 4 items. You could have done it by hand, but you can imagine if you have 100 items you want to change, then you need to do it. That's where the tool is useful. You can check here on this item if I can go in the history that I did to import. Yes, there was 2 lines for the same. That's good. And you see that he did 2 lines for each line here to import exactly what I said. For instance, it's again in French. Everything is in French, sorry. English will be easier for you. So yes, World Heritage criteria, World Heritage section criterion 2. And if I go in the regular, and I go down here, you see that you have the right thing you wanted. So that's how you did it for the, I did it in first syntax. Here, everything was correct, so everything is green here. But sometimes you may have mistakes or problem, and there will be some red part. And if you click it or error, you can see just the error. Here, there's no error, so there's nothing to show, but you can select to see just the error. Or here, I just have 4 lines, but if I want to see more at the same time, I can have a bigger screen and go to different pages. That's it, and I do new batch for the same thing, but with the second syntax. And the second syntax is a bit, how to say it, a bit more compact to write, because instead of saying for each line here, there's a column with a property in between the two, but since it's always the same, in the other syntax, you can just put it here as the title of the column. The thing is, you need to put comma between these two columns. So you have to work what is called the CSV format. And I will do it in a new file to show you like that. When you are in Excel, you need to have only that. It's not possible to do a copy paste like I did just before. And you need to do save as CSV. I don't know if you see my screen still, the little column, but CSV text. Save as CSV, yes. Comma separated, yes. And then I have somewhere on my screen, it should be, no, it's not here. Where is it? Where did he save it? Save it in documents. So I will open documents. Documents. I have way too many documents. And it should be, oh, is it called? No name. That's this one. And open with Notepad, for instance. And you see that here you have a comma separating the two columns. And this is what I need to paste for the second syntax. And I can click on import. Actually, I will do a mistake somewhere, yeah, like that, to show you what happened when you do mistake, because sometimes mistakes happen. So if I do this import CSV command, it will say, oh, that's not good, no valid command found. If you have this error message, it probably means that you are missing the comma, or sometimes you have put semicolons like this, and I think it doesn't, no, it don't like it. So you need to be specifically separated by comma, simple comma. Import CSV command, and here it works. And you have the same result here. It's just two different syntax, and you can hit run in the same way. Here you have import done. Yeah. So that's for the basics. Actually, we had one other example I can show you to show how, oh, sorry, too many tabs here. Here we have another example, and we have a source. So I can put it as a source here, and I need to find the identifier, which I forgot is URL for reference in English. I will just put URL, reference URL, P84. And since, if I do that, I will do that to show you, actually. It will be understood as a qualifier and not a reference. So be careful not to mix the two of them. I'm not sure if for everybody qualifier and references is, the difference is clear. If it's not, please state in the chat. But you see here that it will put under, actually there's type unknown here, that's not good, or whatever. But qualifier, it's written here. And what I want here, is the references, is where I found the information. So it's not P, it's S, as I said just before. And I can do it directly here. There's just one line. And again, I'm just doing one line here, but if I want to put 100 line, 1000 line, it works also. Type unknown is strange. We'll try to see if it works or not. Seems to work. First works, second. The second one doesn't work for some reason. Or does it? You can check. Heritage designation is added, but no reference. And as you say, there's a constraint saying, oh, you should have at least one reference. That's strange. Yeah, the second one didn't go for some reason. And in that case, when you have an error, you can look for the documentation to see, for instance, URL. How are they supposed to strings, including URL? Oh, you need to put, of course you do. You need to put a little quotes on both sides. I will do it again. I'm a bit stupid. So quote, simple quote. Oh, I'll do it afterwards. This one should work. Yes. And here you see there's not the unknown type that I had just before. So yeah, it should work. Yes, it works. So yeah, there's a lot of little tricks in the syntax you need to, even if you know a little bit, like me, you see that I have forgot some stupid little details. So you can go back always to the syntax to be sure how you do it. And if you look at this, did it work? Yes. And you see that it was quite smart because this line, I re-put it a second time and I was, but I don't want to have in this item 2 times the same, one with reference, the other without. And the tool was smart enough to not re-put tentative word heritage twice, but to put the reference to the existing statements. So that's a smart tool. And can we add the start date for the heritage designation? Yes, we can, absolutely. In qualifier, you mean, I guess? And do we have this? I'm stupid, there's the date here, I guess. 15 April 2021, I guess that's update. I'm not sure if that's exactly what I want. So P for start date, P5 something start time, exactly. So I can put it here, add a new column, insert before, and insert before again. Here, as always, I put the property with a P because it's a qualifier this time. And if I want to put the date, you see that the time has to be under this strange format, which is the ISO, I don't remember which one, but this format. So for instance, for 2021, April the 4th, and it was the, I forgot, where did I put it? +15th of April? Yes, 15th of April. So plus 2021 0415, and then a bunch of zeros and things that doesn't matter at all. So I can just copy paste this one. And the last part is for the precision. So here we know that we have a specific day, so it's 11. T like that. New batch, yes.
So,
like
2021, not 2020.
Oh, yes. Sorry. And is it the specific day or the year? I will put the year. So I will put 1st of January. There's no problem here. But here I will put 9 to be sure it's not to make mistake. You will correct that later if you want. Import v1 command, and you see you have 3 lines: statements, qualifier, sources. Everything is put correctly at the right place. Oh, there's an error for some reason. That's a good thing because now you see how error works. Why is there an error here? Errors are not always very explicit, but sometimes if you hover here, invalid snake data. What did I do? Oh, I forgot the quote here. So that was a mistake for sure. 2021. No dot dash 9 plus. I put the plus. Oh, I forgot the plus. That was where I did a mistake. So rerun again. Yes, yes. And reference around probably because, yeah, if you go over the cursor over the error, it says, oh, the statement already has this reference, so I will not add it again. So that's actually not an error. That's a good thing not to add. But just to be sure, they did that, yeah, on the same one. He was smart enough not to add a new one. So maybe that was a bit quick, but I hope you have an overview on how you can use quick statement. If you have some use case or other question, feel free to ask it. Otherwise, I can create, obviously, create a new item. So create a new item is not complicated because actually you can do exactly the same thing. For instance, if you have another item with also on tentative list, you can do the same thing. You just need to put create before, and here instead of a number you put last. But if I do that, which is not a good example, but for the demonstration you can do new item
We
like
have
that.
we have an example. We can use the.
You have one?
Yes, it's in the same spreadsheet actually, but I will post it in the chat. And,
oh, I didn't see that there was another one. So yeah, exactly what I said, create, and then the first row is always last because it was the last known. On create, you can add label D. I think it should be always an uppercase D to be sure not to have a mistake. El Makta, seed prehistoric in Tunisia, that's good. Yes, that seems to be good. We can try that one. It's a bit small when you create. It's better to have more information, but for instance, I don't know, coordinate or whatever, but that's good for the demonstration today. Is there something easy I can see to add? No, but you can do import. And you see that here there's only one line because it will create everything, and you can do run in the same fashion that before. And hey, it's done, it's created. And here it is, El Makta, everything at the right place, at the right. And you could have put same as before. Yeah, if you have for this one, for instance, the date of creation, and you can put plus 21 or yada yada yada, what I said before, just like we did there. That's it, and now it's created. You can reuse it if you want to do some precision. You can reuse this item and do other batches one after the other. You are very quiet today, so I'm not sure if you are lost or if you are following. Just say in the chat if it's good or not, if I can go further or not. Too quick. I'm sorry. Is there a specific part where you want to explain? Or I can explain in French. It would be easier for you, maybe. Just tell me.
Yes, Adli, si tu as une question, même en français, tu peux la poser.
Oui.
Je n'ai pas pu suivre les étapes, c'est-à-dire les exemples, il écrit, il est directement, il applique. Donc, même pas vu, pas suivre même pas le syntaxe.
Pour la création, par exemple, est-ce que c'est clair pour la création?
Non, c'est clair, mais en même temps, j'ai ouvert le QuickStatements au micro, donc je ne peux pas suivre, c'est ça, c'est trop rapide.
Ouais.
C'est enregistré.
C'est-à-dire entre l'étape de l'écriture et l'application. Donc, généralement, j'aimerais bien de voir l'écriture, le syntaxe.
Oui. Donc, oui, comme disait Yamen, c'est enregistré. Donc, faut pratiquer et faire plusieurs fois avant de bien maîtriser l'outil. Hein. De toute façon, c'est normal, comme n'importe quel outil. Et du coup, la syntaxe, en gros, elle va toujours par paire de 3 choses. Un élément sur lequel on va ajouter une propriété avec une autre valeur. Ça, c'est la syntaxe de base. Du coup, sur un tableau Excel, c'est toujours voilà, les 3 colonnes comme ça. Hop là. Donc, par exemple, si... alors, du coup, il faut connaître l'élément, mais si, par exemple, on veut ajouter, par exemple, Tunisie, il faut trouver cet élément-là. Et on a, du coup, l'identifiant. Et on peut dire, par exemple, Q948. Donc, je vais faire un nouveau tableau ici. Et donc, je copie ça. Et puis, je veux ajouter... bon, je dis n'importe quoi, c'est pour la démonstration. Mais la propriété P31 pour dire que c'est un être humain, par exemple. Bon, c'est un exemple, mais... et si je veux, je peux ajouter d'autres informations. Je peux aussi dire que c'est autre chose avec un autre élément. Je peux travailler sur d'autres éléments. Je peux mettre des Q600, machin, Q42. Et par contre, oui, avant d'importer dans QuickStatement, il faut avoir ce tableur avec, où il faut créer les données à importer. Il y a un gros travail en amont à faire. Mais ça, c'est pas dans QuickStatement. C'est vraiment dans le tableur. J'espère que c'est un peu plus clair.
Oui.
Oui.
Oui, c'est un peu clair. Oui.
Bon.
Donc,
un micro coupe
est-ce
un peu.
qu'il y a des exemples à la fin de la séance ou bien on va continuer?
Oui, bon, on va voir. Yamen asked me to introduce another tool which is called Listeria. So I will quickly demonstrate it. Maybe not in a quarter because it will be too short. Can you give me back the link of and I'm sorry, I forgot where I put
the Wikidata project?
Yes.
Yes.
It will be quicker if you have it directly.
I'll post it in the chat.
Thanks. So Listeria is a tool to build a table and to retrieve data from various items and to put it in a table directly updated. Thanks. Here's the link. So for instance, this is the Wikidata page for the Wiki project World Heritage. You see that there's some strange bug, but we'll sort that later. And you have some graphics that are made with other tools that update. If you update things in Wikidata, this graphic will be updating in real time also. For instance, this is where are located all the monuments in the world. You see that there's a lot of Italy, Spain, People's Republic of China, yada, 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 for the top 20 countries. The monuments with or without image, picture, comments category, or coordinate location, which is quite good. Almost all of them have picture. But then what could be useful is to do a sublist by I think there was already a sublist somewhere. Did I miss it? Subpage? No, probably not. I'm confused.
I posted in the chat.
Ah, yes, thanks. And this tool is actually based on a Sparkle query and works with a bot, so there's nothing more to do. Ah, yes, but so I will add the link here. Yes. It will be easier to find lists. Can do one for Tunisia, for instance, the page. I will also heritage by country. Yeah, whatever. I will do one for like that. I'm not sure it's good. We'll do it later better, but it's for demonstration. So I create a new page and I will, on this page, add a template which is called Wikidata list, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's the one. And if you go on the template itself, you have all the details on how it works exactly. So I take it. And this part need to be changed to be exactly what we want. It's the Sparkle query in this case. You can do section and things, but here we don't want anything specific. No. Level description, piece and something. We don't need that. That could be good. That could be good. So I think there was already, it was done a Sparkle query service presentation, so I will not go too far, but here I want all the items that are for country Tunisia, for instance, totally random choose, and that have protection. How was it? Heritage destination. That's not the one I wanted.
Nicola, can we do it using the query, the helper? It will be more easier for.
Oh yes, the little helper here.
Yes. So
put it in English again.
Let's start again.
Except I'm not really used to the helper. So
I will guide you. So if you start again, just click on the Wikidata query services. Yes.
Yeah.
The query helper. So let's start by the country, Tunisia. Let's type Tunisia. No, just type Tunisia.
Tunisia, yeah.
Yes. Okay, this is the first filter. The second filter, let's add another filter. UNESCO World Heritage.
UNESCO.
Yes, UNESCO World, yes.
Exactly.
Heritage. And then we can, yes. So here we have the list of World Heritage sites in Tunisia. And using the show, we can add, for example, the image.
Yes, but you don't need to put the image in the query cell, here. You don't have to have problem with that. You don't have to not carry. You don't care about that here. The only thing you care is to call it item, because it wants to be called item. You don't need that either. So you just need the minimal thing that you can put on my page where I was before. Item, please, exactly. That should be enough. Test, because I'm not sure. And at first, there's nothing here because you need, for the first time, to manually update it, and then a bot will do it for you. You click here. Can be a bit slow sometimes. Oh, that's good. And you can return to the page. And here you have the name, the description, the place where it's located, the coordinate, and the images. And you see that all this information were not in the table here, but the bot find them for you anyway.
So the bot is Listeria, right?
The bot is called, if you look in the history, Listeria bot, exactly.
Do you know why it's called Listeria?
I think it's written somewhere. I knew it, but I think it's just a pun based on Listeria. And it propagate like the plague or something like that, maybe. I don't know. It was done before the pandemic, so nothing to see there.
And so this table can be exported to Wikipedia later. If it's
yes, I use it on Wikidata for an example here on the project, but you can use it in any article or whatever you want. You can even add some colon if you want. That's the part I was maybe a bit too quick. Again, sorry, but you have columns here where you can say, oh, I want this column and this column and this column. So
and
for instance,
can we do it, for example, in different languages?
Yes, of course. Here, for instance, I can add the P heritage designation.
So the label, for example, how to make sure the label to display the label in a different language?
I think if I use it in French Wikipedia, it will be in French. If I use it on Arabic Wikipedia, it will be in Arabic automatically.
Automatically, then.
Yeah.
That's good. Can we do an example for Algeria?
Oh, there was an error. No, there's no error. You see, I add an heritage designation, which here is not very useful because it's always heritage. That was a bit stupid, but that was to show an example. Yeah, you can just take a new page and Algeria instead of Tunisia. Algeria.
Adel, this is for you.
The good thing is you can take the same. Once you the first one, you can replicate it quite easily. You just have to change here. It's not Tunisia anymore. It will be Algeria.
So all you need is to know the number, the queue number of Algeria, and then replace it in the original query.
Exactly. Need to close with a second Wikidata list and at the end, but that's it. Everything you need to do, and again, you need to manually update. And this is a bit strange at the beginning, but once you've done it, you don't have to care anymore. You can just reuse it, and someone can do it for you if you want to. So that's still very good, I think. And again, if you look at the documentation of Wikidata list, you have some explanation how you can do it exactly, what you can put in everything. If you wanted, for instance, whatever. There's some way to adapt to be better. The formatting and everything, if you want to change the name of the title of the column, things like that. Sadly, there is no way to put nice coordinate with a link, external link. It's always a raw coordinate like that. That's not good, but that's a limitation of the tool. But you can already do a lot of things. Yeah, that's the template I used. Thanks for copy pasting it. Again, I was probably a bit too quick and I'm sorry for that, but for 1 hour, I wanted to show you everything because the two tools can work very well together. If you have a table of open data about monuments or things like that, you imported it in Wikidata with QuickStatements. And then if you want to reuse it in Wikipedia, you can use Listeria to show them, to display all the data you imported. So you can see that the first tool is how to write in Wikidata in some way. And the second way is to read from Wikidata to write in the result in Wikipedia.
For the table, not the query, or?
Yeah, you write the query and the tools write the table, display the table for you.
And we put the table on Wikipedia. So how Wikipedia would be updated?
By the bot. Yeah, that's the bot. who does it. For instance, on the French Wikipedia, some people don't like this tool, so I use it in the top page. For instance, I can show you for the historical monument of Rennes on the French Wikipedia. You have here the old table done by hand, which is good, so that's why I didn't change it. It's already there. And if you go in the discussion talk page, here you see that I used Listeria to do the same table, actually, but done automatically, and I can compare to see in the history, for instance, that did the bot came? No, there's last time I checked in March, there's no more change, and I can do it that way, for instance. I know that in some other Wikipedia, for instance, the Welsh Wikipedia has absolutely no problem. They use Listeria almost everywhere. I don't know for other Wikipedia, you have to check every time to make sure. But there it is, an example of what I did. And obviously, if you have a question, you have some time in now for question. And if you want to contact me, as I said, my username is Vigneron. You can always contact me on Wikipedia, Wikidata, whatever, or send me a mail, send me a tweet, send me a bird, do whatever.
And also you can watch Nicolas every Tuesday. So
yes.
So he always there is new topics to he present. Yes.
That's the one. On Twitch under this link that I will share with you every Tuesday evening. I'm doing explanation of Wikidata. More specifically, it's often on Sparkle query, but sometimes I'm doing some other stuff around other tools around Wikidata or things like that. And so you can come in live in Twitch, or you can find my video on YouTube also afterwards if you want to look at all videos. And
good.
That's it.
So if you go back to the project, so we will have this. Can we?
Yeah, I'm just adding Algeria because we created Algeria also. Oh, you did something while I was gone. Oh no, it was already there. Oh, I'm stupid. Tunisia, Algeria. I don't need to put it. There's a template. Yeah, there's a smart template here.
It's added automatically.
Yeah, that's a template who call for it for you. That's perfect. I said nothing. Yeah, what did you want to see?
I think it's okay. So we are going to update the project by adding more lists to it.
Yeah.
And just to mention that also there is ongoing work to fix discrepancies between Wikidata and the UNESCO official list. So we used to have more World Heritage sites on Wikidata than on the UNESCO website. And we start fixing that during the celebration of the World Heritage Day. And now there is almost 30 countries where we still have some discrepancy, and it should be fixed soon also.
Great. Just a last thing, I just thought of it now, but it will be a very long list, but you can do the whole world also. And that's where you can use something, not that. Here. So here I don't need the country, specific country, so I will just say country. And I can use, I don't need country actually, I can just do that. And then
I need to display it. Yeah, country.
Yeah, and I can do section by country here. I think that's how it's done. Small p maybe. We'll try that.
And
you can have an overview of the world that way. And it can help you to check discrepancies and things like that. It's maybe better to have country by country. Both way can be useful. And it's freezing for some reason.
So for discrepancies, we are using this spreadsheet to list the differences. It will take some time because it's one more 1,000.
Yeah.
So here we see in green the list, the countries where the count is good. In white, there we still have discrepancy. For example, Italy, we have 97 World Heritage sites on Wikidata, but the total on the UNESCO site is 55. So there is 42 World Heritage sites that need to be fixed.
Ah, yeah.
So there is many reasons for that. One of the reasons, for example, when we have a city listed as World Heritage Site, the building inside of the city should be designated part of UNESCO Heritage Site. But sometimes on Wikidata, we found them as UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is wrong. Also, another reason of discrepancy is that sometimes the site is listed as UNESCO, although where is it is on the tentative list. So it's not officially a World Heritage Site, so it's still on tentative list. This is another reason. Also, for some sites, there is an end date. So it used to be World Heritage Site, but there is end date. So we need to include the end date on the query to have the exact, more accurate number.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Sometimes you can have also duplicate items on Wikidata, so we need to merge them. So this is most of the main reasons.
Soviet Union, Christian Empire. Okay, obviously.
Yeah, so all the green are fixed, so have been. So now we have got the correct.
Yeah, that's good. I need to have a look on that. For France, that's 12 to check.
So yeah, our aim is to have the exact number on Wikidata as on UNESCO World Heritage Site, so we can have accurate statistic after that, and we can find, for example, what are the next action to do.
Yeah, that's a very good project. Time consuming and not always easy, but yeah, that's why I did a sub list by country, because I think it's too big to do the whole world in one list. Yeah, it's too big to be done by list area. There's some limitation. Which is strange. Should work. Maybe a bot will work later on that.
I think if there is no more question, we can close this session. Again, thank you very much, Nicolas, for accepting to animate it. The recording of this session will be available on Commons and on YouTube for people who would like to watch it again and who were not able to assist. By the way, we would like to wish happy birthday for the Portuguese Wikipedia. Paulo so he didn't able to join us because they were celebrating the Portuguese Wikipedia. So we were wishing for them happy birthday. And yeah. Thank you for all the attendees, and see you for the next session.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Merci.
Bye, everybody.